But this is just spring water, bottled water, and tea tree oil. I also like to do sulfur 8, which I never really did growing up, but recently my scalp has been very itchy, so I've been trying to manage that. This is a mixture of oils, like I couldn't even tell you. It's like castor oil, hair growth oil, olive oil, some like blueberry oil I got just because it was blue, and something else I can't remember, but it literally is just a mixture of oils. And then I like to use Jamaican castor oil. I know that I sometimes have, or I've historically had a tendency to be very impulsive and not check my feelings and emotions. I feel like for a long time, like I played into this cultural idea that because, you know, I'm an Aquarius sun sign, that I'm so aloof and I have no emotions. And, you know, that was fine for a while. I mean, you know, that's how things operated in the home and outside of the home. So it was okay to not have emotions, right? Like it was okay to sort of hold everything inside. And, you know, that's normally how this sort of growth works, right? Is when we talk about maladaptive behaviors, right? They were adaptive behaviors initially that helped to sort of help one to survive, but they become maladaptive because the environment and the circumstances change. It's not the same. It's just not the same. So the behaviors such as not connecting with emotions, not talking and communicating, right? Letting anger go unchecked, or anger being the only accepted emotion, it becomes maladaptive and it becomes inappropriate for the new environment. And that's sort of like hard to like sit with and cope with. So I had this thought the other day that in a weird sort of way, I feel like maybe the same things that were a trigger or like an indication of a situation about to come up, maybe like the same things that might help address that trauma, like real firsthand. So for example, the other day I was having a bit of anxiety attack, and you know, I said deep breaths. So I was breathing in, I was breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And when I was doing it, I felt like my body was getting more anxious, or it was just like, this isn't gonna help. And what I thought of was like, as a kid, sighs, deep breaths, exhales were a sign that something was wrong, right? Like if they couldn't tell me what the problem was, I knew a sigh was a negative indication. I knew a sigh was a symptom of anger or sadness or frustration, or, you know, of course I didn't have that much emotional language and intelligence to know the sort of difference in emotions, but I knew that the sigh was the opposite of happy. So I was just like, damn, like, just from like trying to really work through this trauma and trying to connect with my inner child, like I had to really sort of give myself a moment to like just be comforting to myself and understand that, yeah, these may be helpful, but they also probably hurt like internally. And it is sort of that hard trying to make new connections and form new associations, because for her, right, this sort of lovely breathing doesn't indicate, you know, we're gonna get through this. It indicates we're just starting, right? It's only just begun. So that's been my sort of thing I've been sitting with. And now, so today, I'm trying to really understand, like, just really being mindful of when the things that give us pleasure, right, the things that sort of alleviate the stress, or even they just seem like, you know, they're just natural, they're just things we just do, that, you know, although they may be helpful, right? One, this sort of idea that too much of anything might not be the best, right? So sometimes just giving yourself that break to not engage with something. And then two, also recognizing, like, what is the underlying feeling? Like, why do I want to do this thing right now? Am I wanting to do it because, you know, I'm bored, or I had a bad day, or I'm angry, or I can't think about this right now, or I don't have the words, or am I doing this because, you know, I'm feeling beautiful and I've had an okay day, or the day just started, and, you know, there's no like immediate or heavy link to something that is probably something that should be addressed in a more productive way. I feel like I'm being very coded with this.